Please turn your camera on.
Boosier, can you turn your camera on? There you are. All right. Good morning. The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. We'll be taking up revocation matters first thing this morning. And my name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chairman of the parole panel today. My colleagues on the panel, seated to my left is Mr. Danny Barra, to my right, Mrs. Carolyn Stapleton. We're at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge. And I'd like to get the staff here at headquarters to introduce yourself for the record.
Francis Abbott.
Oh, thank you. And our first location is at Boosier, maximum security. And I think we have Mr. Hall with us.
Ma'am.
Mr. Hall, is there any staff member in that room with you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you're by yourself. We'll go ahead and proceed. Let me ask you to introduce yourself. Tell us your name and DOC number.
DELANIE Hall, DOC number 711477.
All right, thank you, sir. And we have joining us by Zoom, we have Carl Gilliard, the New Start Organization, and Pastor Elvis English, both who want to speak on your behalf, and we'll ask them to do that at their personal time. Do you have any paperwork there with you?
Yes, ma'am. They gave me a parole revocation questionnaire.
Okay, good. That's what I'm looking for. Is that your signature at the bottom of that page, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your answers to those questions, it was determined you're not eligible for appointed counsel. So are you ready to proceed this morning without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Barra, so I'm going to just turn it over to him.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hall, it's alleged that you have violated in the following manners. Condition number 2, that you failed to submit a monthly report as instructed by your parole officer for the months of September through December of 22, January of 23, March through July of 23, September through December of 23, January of 24, and March through present of 24. How do you plead to that?
Not guilty. Me and my parole officer would come and see me, and I worked 90 to 100 hours a week, and he would video call me, sometimes, or he would come by the house and see me. I don't know if that matters, but anytime he needed to see me, he would call me and he would say, "Hey, I need you to come in," and I would come in whenever he would call me and tell me that I needed to come by.
Okay, well, according to the summary of the preliminary hearing, that's not quite how it went, but it doesn't say for you to do a video call with him. It says you submit monthly and you turn in a report. Did you go in monthly and turn in a report?
Not every month. No, sir.
All right. The next violation is violation number 4. On or about June 22nd, 2024, you committed the offense of possession of Schedule 2 drugs, possession of Schedule 1 drugs, illegal carrying of a weapon, aggravated flight from an officer, and other traffic violations. You were billed at 26th Judicial District Court, charging you on or about June 22nd, 24, that you did lawfully possess a firearm or carry a concealed weapon, namely a black automatic Colt pistol M1911, serial number, and a black Taurus pistol with a serial number after having been previously convicted of possession with intent to distribute Schedule 1. Court minutes from the 26th Judicial dated April 28, 25. So on that date, the bill charge of possession of a firearm or concealed weapon was amended to the charge of illegal carrying of a weapon, and that you pled guilty to the amended charge and was sentenced to serve 6 months in the parish jail with credit for time served. How do you plead to that violation?
Guilty.
Also, another violation of condition number 4. Court minutes from the 26th Judicial District dated April 28th, 25. On that date, bill charge of aggravated flight from an officer where human life was endangered and being amended to charge of resisting an officer. That you pled guilty to amended charge and was sentenced to serve 6 months in the parish jail with credit for time served. How do you plead to that violation?
Yes, I pled guilty to a regular flight, but I wasn't actually running from the cops. We were out in the middle of nowhere, and I actually had the cop riding right behind me, and I was telling him that I wanted to stop in a public destination.
But you did plead guilty to the charge.
Yes, sir.
You also have a violation of condition number 5. On or about June 22nd, 24, you committed the offense of illegal carrying of a weapon. Court minutes from 6/26 Judicial Court bill the charge of possession of a firearm or carrying of a concealed weapon by a convicted felon and being amended to the charge of illegal carrying of a weapon. You pled guilty to that amended charge and was ordered to serve 6 months in the parish jail. How do you plead to that, Father?
Yes, sir. I pled guilty, but I had no knowledge of the weapons. Being that we had affidavits wrote, that I didn't have knowledge of it, but I know it was still in possession, so I took the charge.
Right. Condition number 10, you failed to make monthly supervision fee payments as instructed by your parole officer, and you were in arrears of supervision fee of $1,260, and your last payment was on October 14th of 2022. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
Okay. I have a question about that. When you said earlier you're working 100 hours at a time and you didn't make any payments to your supervision fees, why was that?
Yes, I was making payments, but then I got laid off and stuff. That's why I recently had got a new job and stuff, and child support and divorce and stuff like that I was going through. I didn't get back into paying it, but I did let my parole officer know that I was going to pay it. I actually was working to paying it all in full.
Right. I don't have any further questions. Do any of my colleagues, do they have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I don't either.
No questions.
So let's see if, is Mr. Gilliard on with us? Weren't able to get him. What about Mr. English?
English on the phone, he's trying to log in.
Yeah, let's talk on the phone. We have, Mr. English, Elvis English, by phone.
Hold on, listen, hey, listen to me. We're just gonna put you on the speakerphone in front of the board members, so they're gonna ask you for your statement here now. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. English.
Mr. English, you're asking, make your statement.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, what would you like us to know about Mr. Hall?
He is a fine young gentleman. He is my musician at the church. He is a hard worker. He is just a great guy. Just kind of got in a bad situation, and he deserves another chance. And can you hear me now? Can you see? I'm on now.
We don't see you, but we can hear you fine on the phone.
Okay, all right.
All right, well, thank you, sir. We appreciate your comment.
And also, I have a job waiting for him when he gets out.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right, again, we were not able to get Mr. Gilliard with the New Start organization, so I don't see any other questions. I do believe that the board is prepared to vote. Mr. Fowler?
Mr. Hall, you leave me with no choice but to vote to revoke your parole with the possession of the firearm and the convictions for those charges of the firearm. That's pretty much the most serious violation you can commit while you're on parole, short of a more serious crime. So my vote today is to revoke based on possession of firearm while on supervision.
Ms. Stapleton?
I concur, Mr. Byron.
My vote, Mr. Hall, also is to revoke for the possession of the firearm. I find to be violating condition number 4 of your parole. So today, sir, it's a unanimous vote that parole's being revoked. Good luck to you, sir. You'll be able to reapply again for another parole, for re-parole, and we'll send you some information on how to do that. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Committee on Parole is reconvening. We're now at Allen Correctional Center on Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. My name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chair today. My colleagues on the panel, to my left is Mr. Danny Byrod, to my right is Mrs. Stapleton. Our remote location at this time is at Allen Correctional Center. Would the staff at Allen please introduce yourself for the record?
Good morning. I'm Deputy Warden Brent Thompson.
Good morning, Assistant Warden Crystal Simon.
Good morning, Jessica Manual Classifications.
All right, thank you for accommodating us this morning. And we have Mr. Howard there in front of us. Mr. Howard, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number, please.
My name is KENTREAL HOWARD, DOC number 448-329.
Right. Yes, sir, Mr. Howard. Let me acknowledge the folks who have joined us here in Baton Rouge that are here in support of your parole request. We have family members, Lakeisha Stafford, Ophelia Howard, Kentronika Francis, Sharon DeVille, Keandre Stafford, and Kalasia Stafford. And also in support is Jerome Boykin. Mr. Boykin and Kalasia will be speaking on your behalf, and we'll ask them for their remarks shortly. First, let me just read some identifying information into the record, and then we want to hear your statement. So, Mr. Howard, you're classified as a third felony offender. You're currently serving a 30-year sentence, sentenced in Terrebonne Parish in 2017. Possession with intent to distribute cocaine as a habitual offender. Your parole eligibility, has passed. It was July 24th, 2023. You have a good time date, which is January 30th, 2045. Is all that information correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So I see that where this is a rehearing, you've had a parole hearing in the past. So we do it a little different now. We want to hear your statement first. We want you to tell us why are you in jail and why do you think we should vote favorably for you today?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I feel the parole board should grant me parole because I suffered and I learned my lesson over these 9.5 years. And I've been doing what I was supposed to do in prison, trying to, better myself. And I've been doing it. And I understand the people that I hurt selling drugs. I hurt people and their family. And I also hurt myself and my family who are at DOC headquarters. And I just want to apologize for my foolish actions.
All right. Well, let's ask Warden Thompson, what can you tell us about Mr. Howard?
Howard and I spoke on yesterday. I can say he's doing well as far as his disciplinary is concerned. He hadn't had a write-up in approximately 3 years. And that's pretty good. But I also told him on yesterday that I encourage him to get finished with his GED. That's something that he really actually gonna need to help him when he gets to society, they won't repeat after coming back into the system. And I also told him on yesterday too, I think something that's gonna help him out a lot. We have a program here called the Boys and Men program, which is a 6-tier class that these guys will actually take upon completion. I think that'd be something very, very essential for him to have and get completed so it can help him actually stay out in society if he actually do make it to parole board here in the near future.
How long is that program?
It's 6 months. It's
6
6 months. Yes, it's 6 tiers per month. But it's a very, very effective program. You have a lot of inmates on the backlog that's want to get involved in it, but it's very, very, very good for these inmates. A lot of them like it and have some good classes that's being taught in there as far as recidivism, male and female relationships. But I think that'd be something good for him.
All right, good. Thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, we'll hear from the folks who want to speak on behalf of Mr. Howard. First, we'd like to hear from his daughter, Kalaisha. If you'd step up to the podium, please.
Hi, I'm Parole. The last time I see my father was when I was 11 years old. I've been out here, trying to build a bond with him over a phone. He's been doing a great job. We spent 99 years. This is really hard to build a bond with him. I'm so proud of him. The things that he talked to me about, the things that he wants to be, and I'm really really mindful. All the things, the plans, the things that he told me to research for him to better himself. All of the times he would call me back to back to back so we could complete our conversation. He wants to know about this program. Is there anything that he could bring to y'all attention that he can try, to come home? And he's a completely different man. Before he was incarcerated, our bond, it wasn't that strong. But to call every day, constantly, all day, and we sit there and get to actually know him through a jail phone, that means everything. And I know for a fact, I believe he's gonna come home and he's gonna do it.
Thank you. All right, and Jerome Boykin, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jerome Boyd, retired captain with the Parish Sheriff's Office. I'm also president of the local NAACP and Home Louisiana. I'm here today in support of Mr. Howard being paroled for several reasons. One reason is I know he had changed. And the reason why I knew he had changed because I spoke to him by phone. When he first went to prison, up until now, him and I have been conversating. I've noticed the change when he first went there, and after he changed, I know he had changed. He's been incarcerated for almost 10 years. And if you look at his record, then he had a few minor infractions, probably less than 7 or 8 in almost 10 years. I don't feel that Mr. Howard is a threat to society. Although I don't condone drugs, using drugs or selling drugs. But however, I think he has done his time. He has proved that he can live in society. And I think he is a better person now that he has spent almost 10 years in prison. I own a company, JB Sweeping Service. It won't be a problem for him finding employment. Also a consultant for Senator Mike Fazek, who owns PCM. It's a pipeline company. It won't be a problem finding there. So this option for employment is probably better than most. Probably would have 3 or 4 options of getting a job once he is released from prison. I know he was tried as a habitual offender, so I went back in the record to try to see when it came to the drugs. And I think all of the charges that he had, it was probably less than 1,500 hours for the drugs. So this is not someone who is in he's a user and a seller. But I think he earned the right to be released back in society. I have approximately 10 to 12 inmates, some were committed murder that I have been working with since they have been released from prison. And so far, I can honestly say to you all, no one has been arrested or put back in jail or prison. And I'm asking you to send him back so I can work with him. Thank you.
Sir. And Shamika Smith, please.
Morning, our cousin. Through this whole time in Costa Rica, we have been talking. I see a change. I know he's changed. He's ready to come home to his family. We're here to support him willing to pay his parole fees up to 6 to 9 months of his fees. When he come home, we have an extra vehicle that he can use to get back and forth to work while he's out there trying to get himself together. And I'm just saying that I know he's a changed man, and I think he needs to come home with family. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Howard, your case was assigned to Mrs. Stapleton. Would you answer her questions? Good morning, Mr. Howard.
One,
What in your words do you find? I know what you were arrested for. I know that that you ran in the house that you ran into. They found a gun in it. Am I correct?
that was a case that I was never convicted of that particular charge. It was a charge with me and Laura Durkin that got stopped. That's where they found drugs at.
Uh-huh. And did you run?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you run to a house?
No, I was found I was picked when I was arrested. I was arrested at a house, but I had warrants for a drug charge.
Right. And when I read this report, it says when they went into the house, there was a Glock model 22 and a 40 caliber handgun that was retrieved in the house. And a bag of suspected crack cocaine in the door handle of the vehicle that you were driving. You were later charged with the simple criminal damage to property of over $500. So,
Yes, ma'am.
did you know anything about the gun in the house? Two guns.
I knew the house. I didn't live at the house. I never seen the gun, but
You
the
just
drugs
ran
I had
out the person.
is a girl that I knew.
Hmm.
They had the gun in the house, but the drugs that was in the car, I know about the drugs.
Okay.
Drugs. The
I
gun was
noticed-
for-
I noticed that on the last hearing in 23, they had suggested that you take certain classes. And what I did notice is that you've taken those classes. Tell me all the classes that you've taken, sir.
I have taken Thank You for a Change. I have taken Victim Impact. I have taken Living in Balance Phase 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Since my last hearing, when I went to my last hearing, I had no subjects completed for my GED, but now I have 4 subjects. I just have 1 subject left and I will have my GED.
Okay.
And if your parole board was to grant me parole, I was wondering, could I get a special condition to take this last subject? I just have 1 subject left.
Okay.
And I have Man in the Mirror. I have 2 NAAAs. I got a lot of certificates I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm seeing all of that. And that's very commendable. What they told you to do, you got busy with it. I noticed that your disciplinary reports, I only see 2 here. Is that
Yes,
correct?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah, so that's, like they said, that's not a problem either. And then, of course, I see that you successfully participated in the substance abuse program. So
Yes,
that's another one that was very important. It says you're eligible for the transitional work program. Do you work outside of the jail, prison?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. The warden was talking about an interesting class. What do you think about that?
For my last hearing,
Uh-huh.
I had to vote, and I was granted by two parole members, Ms. Pearl Wise and Mr. Andy Marbella, and I was denied by Mr. Pete Freeman. Mr. Pete Freeman recommended that I needed living in balance and victim impact, and I never knew anything about the other classes.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you accomplished everything they asked you to accomplish. You got a 30-year sentence.
And of that, you've, just a little bit short of serving 1/3 of a 30-year sentence. And I'm kind of concerned about that. You have opposition from the DA and the sheriff's office. That's the opposition. Anybody else have questions?
Yeah, you've had 4 periods of supervision already, and 3 of them got revoked out of them 4. What would be different this time? What have you learned? Why would it be different, you know? 4 is a chunk, 3 out. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's my problem with it.
I was a little younger back then. Now I mature. My prior convictions, I was always getting slaps on the wrist, and I never served a long time in jail. And this time, I got a 30-year sentence. I've been incarcerated going on 10 years, and I definitely learned my lesson. And I'm just waiting on the time to prove myself to the parole board, my family, Mr. Jerome Boykin, and people in society that I'm a changed man.
That's the only question.
So let me ask you this. Your daughter mentioned that she was excited about your plans. What are your plans?
I plan to get out here and work instead of going back to the old life and be there with my family. Because I have 5 kids. I have three baby mothers. Before I got incarcerated, my children, they weren't familiar with each other. But since I've been in here, all of them, they together now, and I'm the only one that's missing.
That's pretty good incentive.
I just waiting on the opportunity to prove myself.
So we talked about, you told Ms. Stapleton about all the programs you took. What was the one that you got the most out of and why?
Thank you for a change. Thank you for a change. Because before I react to things, I think about it. I don't let my reactions override my thinking. And that's how I stayed out of trouble all this time in jail. I have 2 write-ups, and if I feel if I didn't take that class, I probably would have more, because I ran into many situations where I backed down from fights because I didn't want to get into trouble.
Well, you are to be commended for your disciplinary record. You're right. It's 2 write-ups, and they were both within about 3 months of each other in 2022, and you've done really well since then. So you're to be commended for that. I don't have any other questions. Are you ready to vote?
I wanted to ask also, you were talking about with Ms. Renata about your plans, and I heard Mr. Boykin talking about you coming to work for him. Have y'all discussed that? I know you discussed it with us now. Have y'all discussed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that something you're interested in doing?
I asked him.
You asked him?
I asked him. And
Yes.
Over the years, I looked up to Mr. Jerome because he's a positive person. And
Yes.
I bothered him a lot, called him a lot, and he was gonna give me a job. I had 1 subject for my GED.
Uh-huh.
What's that subject?
Language.
Language. Okay.
I'll go to executive session.
We have a motion by Mrs. Stapleton for executive session.
Second.
Second by Mr. Byron.
Renata.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Byron.
Okay. All right. We'll be in executive session for just a moment to discuss confidential matters. Stand by.
Time, so you do something like that, I can look at it. serve at least half of the time. You know, you've been down for 9 years. Thank you, we're getting paid, all you working with and a GED. You've done everything else they asked you to do.
That's what I was saying, like, with the GED, I was wondering, 30% with the special edition, and 30% from class three. And I got a guaranteed job, but,
Just, you process like that, I get all about to keep the
worked in school, and I didn't know that my family.
I ain't trying to do stuff, none of those. There's this thing about it, so, that.
All right, I'll make a motion to come back into regular session at 9:18. Is there any objection? No. Hearing none, we'll back in regular session, Mr. Howard, and we are prepared to vote. Mrs. Stapleton will be voting first.
Mr. Howard, today I'm going to vote to grant with conditions that you complete the Boys to Men program and your GED.
Mr. Barra.
I'm also gonna vote to grant with the special condition that you have a curfew of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. for the first year of supervision, unless you have a job that requires you to work during those hours, and that you also complete outpatient substance abuse following up on whatever is recommended from the programs that you'll be attending before that. So in other words, follow all recommendations from any substance use providers that you're involved with.
All right, Mr. Howard, you were asked to do some programs at your last hearing. You completed that. You've got a good conduct record. The warden spoke highly of your record and has made some really good recommendations. So my vote today also is to grant, but after you complete that Boys to Men program, still working on your GED. Now, we want you to get your GED. If you're not able to obtain that before you finish the Boys to Men, you still work on it when you get out. You got to get it. And then the curfew and the substance abuse follow-up that Mr. Byron mentioned. Do you understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
You got a little more work to do, but you're on the right track. Good luck to you, sir.
And don't forget, you got 20 years if you mess up any of those special conditions, so you still got a lot of time hanging over your head as an incentive, and no gun, and not around anybody who handles guns. You get caught with a guy with a gun, it's just as bad as if you got caught with the gun yourself.
Yes, sir. I have one question.
You might have to change a couple of people, places, and things that you were used to.
Yes, sir.
What's your question?
I have one question, like, taking the last subjects, I'm not real good with school. I failed like a couple times trying to get these subjects. So you basically telling me like if I don't been to pass the test by the time I finish Boys to Men, I could take it in society?
Still work on it outside.
Yes, ma'am.
All right? And you got a lot of people in this room that'll help you with that language that you need. So
I will.
good luck to you. All right.
Thank you.
My lead. Or a good man will lead you on. I'm gonna do it. We'll get you in, I'm gonna try to get you in class earlier. They finna graduate, so I'm gonna do it. We'll get you that very next one coming up. Very next one coming up, jump in it, do your classes, you'll be finished with that. And like they said, Steve, you can finish that GED once you have found you have to get out there and decide.
I found out that we should be taking a test on the last subject like this month. So if I could pass it next month, then I'm very okay.
Well, I'll be giving one time on. All right, good luck to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, good morning. Mr. Saylor, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
You.
There you go. Try again.
John Taylor, 397-897.
All right, Mr. Saylor, let me acknowledge the folks who joined us by Zoom in support. We have your sister Mary Shaw, your brother Eddie Saylor, and sister-in-law Tennille Saylor. Here in opposition from the DA's office in Jefferson Parish, we have Mr. Randall Meyer. And at the appropriate time, we're going to ask for all of their remarks. First, I'm going to just read some identifying information into the record, and then we'll ask for your statement next. Mr. Saylor, you're classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a 49-year sentence as a habitual offender, principal to armed robberies, 49 years and 6 months. Your parole eligibility date was in 2021, and your good time date is December 9th, 2048. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a rehearing for you. So you've been through this process before. It's a little different now. We want your statement first. We want to hear from you first. Tell us, how'd you get involved in all the criminal activity? And, you know, what's different about you now? Why do you think we ought to parole you?
Oh, you know, back then I was young. I was a coward. Act I did, I didn't have no sense of direction at all. But right now, you know, I'm a changed man. All that was like 25 years ago. Right now, I'm a changed man. I got my GED. I put myself in more programs like Boys to Men, things that would change. I became a mentor. Everything. I'm a changed man. I'm nothing like I used to be 25 years ago. I'm a grandfather now. I got a granddaughter. She was born February 9th.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, congratulations. All right, we'll ask you, dig a little deeper into that in just a minute. We'd like to hear, Warden Thompson, is there anything you can tell us about Mr. Saylor?
Saylor's doing pretty good. He started out a little rough, coming into the system, according to his dictionary record. The last 3 years, he's done well. He hadn't had a write-up. I'm concerned in regards to a program that he actually mentioned. I don't see here we actually have listed him participating to the Boys and Men program. Have you taken that?
Yeah, I'm in it right now.
Okay, well, he's currently in it right now. That would be my recommendation for him to finish that class. I'm very proud of that Boys and Men program class. It's very effective with the offenders due to the fact of the matter, the different class that it teaches on. So that would be my recommendation that he complete that for sure.
Okay, good. Thank you, sir. We'll hear from those who want to speak on your behalf now, Mr. Saylor. So first, we'd like to hear from your sister, Mary.
Good morning, honorable members of the Parole Board. Again, I'm Mary Shaw, and I'm the eldest sibling in our family, the only girl among 4 brothers. I'm here today on behalf of my brother, John, and I come with deep gratitude, hope, and love. What I want you to know is John has always been a part of our family's heartbeat. We're a pretty tight group of kids. I still like to call us kids, but we're getting kind of old. Even through the years apart, we still celebrate his birthday. We tell stories about him around the table when we're together and keep his name in close prayer. Today, I'm proud to share that he is not the same man who entered those doors 25 years ago. He's grown, he's matured, he's evolved in ways that deeply move our entire family and our extended family. Just last year, John earned his high school diploma, as he shared. Here, I actually have a picture of his graduation here in my office on my desk. That moment lit a fire in him And it was a moment of pride that I honestly hadn't seen in him before. It reminded him that he could achieve something meaningful, that he was worthy of success. And he hasn't stopped there, as you just heard him speak about. He's had dreams of becoming a chef. He probably still thinks he can cook better than me, but he probably can't. I'll take you on in that, John. And a barber. He has some other, business ideas as well, and we're here to support him in that. He's taken responsibility for his past, and he's committed to building a future full of purpose, and we're going to support him in that. He wants to give back, especially to young people. We've talked about that, who have walked down or are walking down similar paths like the one he once traveled. And I believe with all my heart that he will. In the work that I do as an educator, and there are several of us in our family that are educators. I've been in K-12 education for the last 27 years, and my brother Eddie is a teacher. He's currently in his classroom. But we work with students who remind us a lot of our brothers, of our brother, and students who have faced trauma, poverty, and systemic barriers. Many of those students need a voice like John's, and his story has the power to change their lives. And I, as well as my brother Eddie and my brother Thomas, we have the platforms to help him do that. So we're ready as a family. We've lined up jobs, financial support from our family, mental health services, vocational training, ongoing education. We're prepared to walk with him every step of the way. He's a father, a grandfather. He's our brother. He's a son, and now a man of humility, strength, and purpose. And we ask that you would consider his release, not just as a second chance, but as a chance for him to give back everything he's gained there with you. So thank you for considering his future, and I look forward to the day I can welcome my brother John home. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we'd like to hear from Mr. Eddie.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning. Good morning, members of the board. My name is Eddie SAYLOR. I am one of John's brothers. I'm his oldest, right before him. I've known John all his entire life. And I want to sincerely thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak, to share my thoughts regarding my brother. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the seriousness of the offense that led to John's incarceration. When I first heard about this, I was in the military serving, and I was so upset with John because we were not raised like this at all. So I was really upset to the point where I did not want to talk to him. But as I visited John and talked with him along with my wife, John or myself take the reason why he's incarcerated lightly. And I believe initially, like the gentleman shared at Allen Correctional Facility, John had a difficult time. He had a difficult time adjusting, a difficult time accepting responsibility, which kind of got me upset. But now, after talking to John and seeing the progress he's made and taking advice of his family members, John has taken full responsibility for his actions and has expressed deep remorse for the pain that he caused to his family members, to the victims, to himself. So I know that he has taken deep remorse and understands the gravity of the past decisions, and he has shown commitment to making things right. During the time of his custody, I've seen John make some steps. I believe initially he has some difficulty with depression and things of that nature, and he did not avail himself to the opportunities that you guys have there for his improvement and advancement and his integration back into society. But John, as he adjusted, as he realized that this is serious, and as he started having more family members grandchildren and things of that nature. He has changed. I realize that he does realize that if he doesn't step out and take opportunity and take responsibility for his actions, he's not going anywhere. And I realize that he does want to be reintegrated back into society and to rebuild a better version of himself. So if John is granted parole, he has a detailed and stable plan, as my sister mentioned, a really detailed and stable plan to where he's going to live, what he's going to drive, what jobs that he's going to avail himself to, where he's going to go on a daily basis. As a military man, I personally will walk John back to the correction facility if he does not avail himself to every single opportunity that we have lined up for him. So I'm committed. I'm personally committed to support my brother in this transition. And we are, as his family members, as the Saylors, we are personally going to hold John accountable in every step of the way. I truly believe that John is ready for this second chance, which will be a blessing. I believe that he has grown and matured and more than I've seen him in the most recent years. I've seen that he's taken leaps and bounds. Yes, he still has some things he got to take care of. Yes, he will take care of those things. So I just want to thank you for this opportunity to speak, and thank you for your consideration in this matter.
Thank you, sir. And then we have Tennille Saylor.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Tennille Saylor, and I am the sister-in-law of John Saylor. I've known him for many years during his incarceration. I come here not to excuse his past, but to speak of the man he has become over these 25 years. In the time, I've seen growth in his character. He has taken accountability for his action and has shown deep remorse. He's made use of the time to reflect, mature, and to better himself, not just for his own sake, but for those he hopes to reconnect with on the outside. He's completed his GED program, sought personal growth, and remained focused on positive change. What stands out most is his consistent effort to be a better person. He's taken responsibility for his life and shown humility and determination. That takes strength, and I believe he's ready to re-enter society as a changed man. Our family stands ready to support him emotionally, practically, and spiritually. We will walk beside him every step of the way. I believe in him, and I respectfully ask that you give him the opportunity to show you and the community the man he is today. I thank you for this hearing, and I thank you for your time, and we hope to have John with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Mr. Meyer, we'd like to hear from the DA's office, please.
Good morning, Randall Meyer, Assistant DA in Jefferson Parish. So I've spoken with Mr. Trent Acosta, who's a attorney who I'm not sure if he's actually represented him in post-conviction relief, but he's trying to help Mr. Saylor out. And he sent me some information. One thing that he did give me was a November of 22 statement from the victim saying he was not opposed. However, when DOC Victim Assistance Group talked to him in 2025, and I spoke with him 2 days ago, he told both of us that he was opposed. And the statement he said about being opposed was because of his disciplinary record. He wasn't sure that if he'd be able to, how he would do on parole because of his disciplinary record. And the disciplinary record still concerns me. He's had 66 roughly disciplinary reports. The last one was in 22, a couple of months after his last hearing. And he's had a few theft disciplinary reports. For some reason, one in 2020 doesn't show up on the list of disciplinary reports, but there is a letter or a note in the record stating that there was a theft offense in 2020 to which he was ordered restitution of $17.28. Because of that and the victim opposition, we're opposed to his requests.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Saylor. So let's talk a little bit about, let's dig a little deeper into what is it that you actually did to get in jail this time? What was your crime?
It's armed robbery.
Well, I mean, I know that. What did you do?
I rode around and looked for a victim. You seen the victim and I robbed him. He rode in the car.
And you had a gun?
No, I didn't have a gun. The dude I was with, he had a gun. But I was with him though. That still don't determine that I'm still guilty for the crime. I still don't. But I didn't have a gun. We just rode around, just ride the dude, whoever seen. That's it.
There's some indication in the record where you had the gun.
I know it. The one told me yesterday, they got the name mixed up. I don't know how that happened, but they got the name mixed up. I wasn't the one with the gun though at all. But that still doesn't mean that I'm still guilty of it because for the crime. But I don't know how my name got mixed up, but I wasn't the one with the gun though. But I still don't determine the fact. I'm still guilty of the charge. I was young.
So how did you get involved in that kind of activity? Have you given that some thought?
Yeah, I had thought about my girlfriend. That was my girlfriend's brother I was with. He came to the house, picked me up and asked me for a ride. He said, "You want to go ride, take a ride?" And I'm like, "Yeah, cool." So I got in the car with him, rode, and he wanted to go rob something. So I was with it. And we seen whoever we seen, we robbed him. And that was it. But I was young, I was childish, I was a coward. Right now, I'm not a coward anymore. I learned my lesson. I never do nothing like that ever again. 25 years ago, it was stupid. It was stupid of me to do something like that. Because I hurted me, I hurted the victim, I hurted my family, I hurted my son. Hurt everybody in my life. And I don't want, right now, all that, the old me is gone. And you're gonna hurt from him, all the stuff I done completed, all that is out of me. The old John is dead. This is a new person. I'm a new human being. I'm born again.
So what took you so long once you got to jail to figure all that out? Because as we said, and Mr. Myers pointed it out, you got 66 write-ups. You've had 8 in the past 10 years, but the last was in 2022. So it took you a while to, kind of figure it out. Why did it take you so long and what clicked finally?
What clicked was when my mom passed. And that clicked on me a whole lot. When she passed, I just did a whole 360. I don't want to get my life right. I want to see my kids again. And I just turned my life around. So that really what clicked when my mom passed.
So, what do you think about the plan your family's worked out? Pretty detailed plan for your that they've all laid out for you.
I got a great support team, and I'm thankful for that. God led me for a great family, and I'm thankful for that, for real. They got a good plan for me, and I got a good plan for me.
So how long have you been in the Boys to Men program?
I've been 6 months. I'll be finished in two weeks. I'll be finished that program.
So you're at the end of it.
Yeah, I'm at the end of it.
Where are you going to live whenever if you were successful? Where would you live?
Right now, I got to live with my brother. Live with my brother, Thomas.
Is that in Jefferson Parish? Where is that?
No, that's in Houston.
Okay.
Texas.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good plan.
Well, he got a
Is he,
lot of.
where's he at today?
Yeah, I think he's at, well, he got a lot of businesses, so he be real busy. He got a lot, yeah, he be at work. He got a lot of business he own. He own a CDL company. He got a security company. He got 2 daycare centers. He real busy. Now, he was gonna give me a job, so everything will be good. Like my family, they got a whole setup plan for me already. I'm gonna get my own house. They gonna give me all that, buy me a car and everything. So I should be straight. They got a good plan set up for me. I'm thankful for that, and I'm blessed for that.
Very lucky in that regard. We don't see that often. You're very, very blessed there.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
All right, I don't have any other questions of you, Mr. Saylor. I'm gonna turn it over to my colleagues. Mr. Bauer, got any questions?
I have a question from Mr. Myers first. You could answer. In the police report, they say he's the guy with the gun, correct?
I was gonna say something about that. Mr. Saylor, from what I've seen, the research I did, he was the driver, did not have the gun. The other defendant who pled guilty and was given a 15-year sentence was the guy who had the gun, who got out of the car and put the gun in the juvenile's face. From everything I've seen, Mr. Saylor did not have a gun.
Okay, thank you. So you took part in this robbery for what reason? What were you trying to get money for?
It was food. I wasn't really trying to get money. I guess I just wanted to be down, I guess. I just did just be doing. I didn't have no sense of direction at all. I was young. I had a child state of mind. I'm not a child anymore. The class that I'm taking, all the courses I've taken, it transformed me. It really transformed me. Like the warden said, the thing of a chain class and the boy to man class is the saying that we saying that it's like when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, and I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. And all the things I did, I put all that away. I'm not a child anymore. I'm a grown man now. I'm 49 years old. I came in jail. I was young. Like I said, I'm a grandfather now. I got a granddaughter. So all the stuff I did, it's over with. I'm a man now.
That's all the questions I have.
Yeah, that answered my question. All right, I don't see any other questions, Mr. Saylor. How many parole hearings have you had?
This is my second one.
This is just your second?
Yeah, my first one, they told me to get my GED.
And you did?
Yes, ma'am. I'm proud of myself too.
Yeah, you should be. I am too.
Thank you.
So is your family, I'm sure. So listen, Mr. Saylor, your record is concerning. But I am most impressed with the things that you and your family has said today. I'm particularly that your plan would be to go to Texas and not back to Jefferson Parish. I had some concerns about that. My vote today is going to be to grant your parole after you finish that Boys to Men program, which is soon. And then with the stipulation that you do the interstate compact to Texas with your brother. And follow the plan laid out by your family.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just one vote. Mr. Byron?
I'm going to concur with Ms. Renatza, and I'm going to also add the condition that prior to release, you complete the victim awareness program and the victim accountability program. Also, upon release, that you're not associated with anyone who possesses a firearm. You can't associate. Your brother's going to have to give up any firearms if you're living in his house. There's going to be no firearms in the house, and you can't have friends who have firearms. There's no excuse that I didn't have the gun, he had the gun. You can't be in the car, you can't be in the same room, you can't be in the same house. And also that you cannot return to Jefferson Parish.
All right, Mr. Stapleton?
I concur with Ms. Renatza and Mr. Barra.
All right, you got a favorable decision. Aren't you excited?
Yes, I am. Thank you. But
All right, good luck to you.
thank you.
All right, Warden, that concludes our business. It's 9:51. We're gonna sign off. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Yes.
I'll make sure that y'all don't talk too much. I just unmuted it. So can't talk beyond what's going on here because this is being recorded to make sure you don't say anything that you're not supposed to. You'll know what you'll see. Franklin, you second. He's gonna be talking, the board is gonna be talking to us and they're gonna ask the staff at East Baton Rouge, which is myself, to introduce themselves.
All right, good morning. We are the Committee on Parole, and we are now at East Baton Rouge Parish Prison. Good morning, Captain Miles. Thanks for accommodating us today.
Good morning.
You have there with you Mr. Beecham first. We'd like to see Mr. Beecham first. Mr. Beecham, good morning.
Good morning.
Good. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number.
My name is Quenton Beecham, DOC number 713-143.
All right, that's what I have. Thank you, sir. And you are represented by counsel this morning. Good morning, counsel. Would you introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. I'm Kelly Carmina on behalf of Mr. Beecham with Southern University Law Center's Law Clinic.
Okay, and thank you for being here with Mr. Beecham this morning. Mr. Beecham, you're here for a revocation decision. You understand that? Mr. Beecham, did they freeze up? All right, let's see if we can get them back.
You frost.
I think they may have signed out and going to try to sign back in. All right, there you are. You had froze up for a second. All right. Mr. Beecham, I was asking you to be sure you understand you're here for a revocation decision today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first, I'm going to read the allegations against you. I'm going to ask you to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. And then we're going to ask your attorney for her remarks or comments that she may have. All right, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're accused of violating the conditions of your parole. And first is the first instance of condition number 4, and that reads, you fail to refrain from criminal conduct as evident by your arrest March 16, 2024 by the Baton Rouge Police Department and were charged with domestic abuse, battery, simple criminal damage to property. On March 26, 25, you pled guilty to simple criminal damage to property, which correlates to the arrest on March 16, 2024. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Guilty.
Okay. We have another one that is also condition number 4. It says, additionally, you further engaged in criminal activity on or about November 6, 2023, as evident by your arrest by the Baton Rouge Police Department and were issued a misdemeanor arrest summons for theft. How do you plead to that violation of condition number 4?
Not guilty.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't billed for that.
I'm going to ask you about it in a minute. After we hear from your lawyer, we can ask you about what happened.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
That's okay. Lastly is another number 4. You were also engaged in criminal activity on or about the date of February 26, 2024. As evident by your arrest by Baton Rouge Police Department, you were issued a misdemeanor summons for simple criminal damage to property. How do you plead to that violation?
I'm not guilty on that one too, young. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And last was about your fees. It says you violated number 10, condition number 10, because you failed to pay your parole fees. You were currently $189 in arrears. How do you plead?
Not guilty. I explained it.
Okay. So, Ms. Carmina, would you like to speak now, or you want me to take his statements first?
It's whatever y'all would like. I would like to state his parole officer, Mr. Gerard, said that he's waiting in the waiting room and no one's let him in. I don't know if y'all want to let him in.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Can y'all let Mr. Gerard in? He's on the Zoom.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking he was up. We're gonna get him.
He had just sent me a text message asking if I could let y'all know.
Yeah, thank you. Do you see? Oh, there it is. So is that, Mr. Gerard? It says Carl.
Yeah, I don't think that's him. Well, I don't think that's him. I don't know.
It should be Mr. Gerard. Gerard. G-I-R. We don't have him. Can you text him? We don't see him?
Yeah, but like, they got it, that's the direction, but she got texting ID.
Miss Carmina, can you text him back and ask him what's his device name? Because we don't see his name. We have somebody named Sutherland, I believe, that's in the waiting room.
He said his ID is POO345935.
In the wrong waiting room. She needs to text him.
Okay. So we're gonna give you, he's apparently in the wrong meeting room. We're gonna, if you could text him the correct meeting number, the same one you used to dial in.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Put you on hold. Up until then.
Yeah, I need both.
This is Kelly. I sent it to him. I copied and pasted it. He hasn't responded to me.
All right, I think we got it. Mr. Is he in? Yes. Mr.
Yes,
Gerard. Mr. Gerard, you there? There you are.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry for that difficulty. So we were at the point where Mr. Beecham pled let's see, not guilty to violating condition number 10, not guilty to 2 instances of violating number 4, and guilty to I think the simple criminal damage violation. So at this point, is there anything you'd like to tell us about Mr. Beecham before we move forward? I think you're on mute. You must have read. Yep, you're still muted. There you are.
Yes, ma'am. I received his case back in January of 2024 after Officer Linton was his supervising officer. I did not have a chance to meet Mr. Beecham in the field before he was arrested by the police department for the domestic and the damage to property.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for your efforts to be here today. We appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Carmina, is there anything you'd like to add at this time?
Yes, Shauna, the only thing that I would really like to add is, as for Mr. Beecham, after I've met with him a couple of times, obviously we did not represent him in the new matters in the domestic or the simple criminal damage. We were only appointed for this purpose right here. And meeting with him, he's very young. I don't think that the prior parole officer was very involved, because he indicated to me that he did not meet with his parole officer very often, that he was never asked to check in very often. I would ask that if you are willing to allow him to go back out on parole, that he be ordered to stay in contact with us so that we can help him, because our clinic is set up to where we can help him get into some of these reentry programs that he probably isn't aware of, and make sure that he's checking in with his parole officer and paying his fees and doing all the things he's to do. I know 27 years old is an adult, but 27 years old is also still very much a child in my view and through my career. So that would be my prayer to y'all, is that you're willing to give him a second chance back on parole, that he be ordered to stay in contact with Southern's Law Clinic so that we can make sure that he does what he's needing to do and be successful on parole.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Beecham, can you hear us? I think y'all are on mute.
Okay. I am. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you. So, Mr. Beecham, how long you been in jail there?
15 months since last year, 2024, March.
March.
Yes, ma'am.
And So you told us today that you plead guilty to that first instance of violating condition number 4, which has to do with the domestic abuse battery and the simple criminal damage to property that you pled guilty to in court. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you wanted to offer us a statement about the others? Let's see, the other second instance was November 6, 2023, you were issued a summons for theft.
Yes, correct. Yes, ma'am. And I was in Walmart. That happened actually at Walmart, and it wasn't really me. That's why I never got billed on it. They saw it wasn't me on camera. It was actually a mistake.
Was it somebody you were with?
No, ma'am. I wasn't even with them. I was just in line. It was a complete mistake.
Then the last one was something in February of 2024, a misdemeanor summons for simple criminal damage to property.
Yes, ma'am. I
What was
had
that?
actually, I had got this dismissed in court. They, went through the court procedures and stuff, and they found me not guilty. I wasn't guilty of that neither. And also, Your Honor, I have this with me right now. I wish I would be able to show it to you, but this a letter for participation in the MOVE program that I'm in. Since I've currently been here, I've been volunteering in the MOVE program and stuff, and I've been trying to get myself together. Your Honor.
What is MOVE?
This a MOVE program they started here at the jail, and it's called Motivating Offenders Through Vision and Excellence. It's a program the sheriff office and the program director Patrick Cochran them started since I've been here.
How long you been in that program?
I've been here for a minute now, probably 2 weeks. I'm gonna say 2 weeks.
All right, good. So let me ask you something. I think in some of the paperwork that you filled out, we see where there may be a mental health diagnosis. Do you take any medication?
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently complying with my medication and stuff. I've been taking my medicine and schedule, and it helped me out a lot since I've been in here.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
during all these episodes when you got in trouble, or where the whole time you were on the street, did you take your medicine like you're supposed to?
No, ma'am, I wasn't complying. I'm gonna be honest.
Why
I wasn't.
not?
I can't really answer that. I'd be lying if I told you the answer. I can't answer that. But now I've been complying and taking my medicine. I see it helped me out a lot since I've been in here. So if I was released, I would be taking my medicine. I would not stop. I see
Right.
it help.
So is it possible that you were self-medicating maybe instead and not taking the prescribed medication?
I wouldn't
Like
say
you're supposed to?
I wouldn't say self-medication, but probably more like stubborn, not want to take it, saying I can do it without the medicine, stuff like that.
Do you realize now you need it?
Yes, ma'am. Completely.
So let me ask, is Captain Miles still there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
I am.
Captain Miles, do you know about that MOVE program?
Yes, ma'am. That MOVE program is to help these young men better themselves while they're here. It actually it has actually helped those young men to become, more aware of being men and being aware of society, what they could be in society, living among society. They do work. They challenge them to for discipline, and it's different aspects of being a man and trying to better them for to go back out in the world and do better. And if they comply, they get moved to a different program, and it gets better and better. They get more and more perks, to help them throughout this prison, while they're here.
Thank you for that information. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions of Mr. Beecham?
No, ma'am. That would be all.
That incident at Walmart that you were talking about, did Kanisha Boatler get arrested for that?
Well, we all got it. It was a couple of us, but nobody got billed for it because it wasn't us. It was a complete mistake. But we all was together, and it was like the line. Everybody was in line right there.
And everybody bringing up 10 cents barcodes.
Sir.
Everybody was ringing up a 10-cent barcode, and that's what.
Actually, I wasn't even in line scanning or nothing. I wasn't in line at all. That's why I said it was a complete mistake. That's why. No, it was a complete mistake, sir.
All right.
I got a question, Mr. Beecham. I mean, clearly you're doing very well and you're on your medicine and everything. So when you get out, like you were out, how will you get your medicine? Are you on Medicaid or something like that? Or a free clinic? I mean, how are you going to get your medicine? Some of it's very expensive.
I'm on Seroquels, and if I have to pay out, I work and I pay for it, but I get it from I use my pharmacy on Greenwell, which is CVS. I mean Walgreens. I use Walgreens on CVS. I mean on Greenwell, my bad.
So you have a that you go to regularly, so that you have a clinic that you go to regularly to get a prescription?
No, ma'am. Honestly, no. I got prescribed when I was out there once before, and it was Benadryl, but no, I didn't. I don't have a primary care doctor. I have to look into all of it when I get released. No, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do, because when you get out, you're gonna need prescriptions to get your medicine. And so I just want you to be able to be successful. That's all.
Yes, ma'am. I will. Yes, ma'am.
And if I can interrupt just briefly, that's where I would like for the clinic to come in to help him make sure that he's doing these things to stay on track. We have some reentry programs that can help him with that, and people that can help him if he's having difficulty paying for his prescriptions, making sure he's able to get those and set up the right programs for him.
That's
You're part of the group that would help with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have another question for him. Who was the victim in the domestic abuse battery charge?
It was Kanika.
And it seems like her name's in all the reports that I'm seeing with you. Every time there's a problem, you with her. Is that right?
It could be, but if it is, sir, I'm not going back with her at all. So you don't have to worry about that. But as far as there was a complete, both incidents was kind of, I don't know how to say it, it wasn't really her. I wouldn't say it was her and me being together, because the first incident at Walmart was a mistake, but her name is on it, but it was a mistake. And the second incident, we got resolved in court. It wasn't, but I'm not with her anymore though, Your Honor. I'm not. So I'm not with her anymore.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Mr. Beecham?
Yes, ma'am.
I think we're ready to vote. I'm going to vote first. I do find you guilty of violating conditions of your parole. However, because of Ms. Carmina's program with the Southern Law Center, I'm willing to return you back to supervision if you connect with them. Because you need help with your, making arrangements for doctor's appointments so you can get the prescriptions. I'm going to add a special, so my vote's going to be do not revoke, return you to supervision, add a special condition that you comply with your mental health medication, take it as you're supposed to, and that you do connect with the law center for services.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay in close contact with your parole officer.
Yes, ma'am. I would do so. Thank y'all.
No contact with Kanika Boatman.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just one vote. Mr. Byron?
I'm going to concur with Ms. Renats on this one. I'm also going to add a condition of your supervision that you have a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. monitored on electronic monitoring. It can be removed by the parole officer when he deems it'll be appropriate. That's my vote.
Mrs. Secretary.
I can concur with both Ms. Renata and Mr. Barra. I think their suggestions are excellent.
All right, Mr. Beecham. We're
Yes,
not
ma'am.
going to revoke you today.
I have one question. I'm sorry. About the ankle monitor, do I have to pay for that?
No.
Special treatment.
No.
All right. Thank
State's
you.
going to pay for it for you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all. Y'all
All
have
right.
a good day.
Thank you all so much.
We don't want to see you again, Mr. Beecham.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all want.
If I may, real quick with Mr. Beecham.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, go
So,
ahead.
as I understand it, I know that our GPSs are specifically reserved for the sex offenders. And I know that we don't have, as far as I'm aware, we don't have any open GPS units. So typically they would go through something like homebound monitoring, which would be at an expense.
All right, well, we'll revise that one. We'll let him be on the curfew from 10 to 6. And that if you find out he violated that curfew, we got a problem.
Thank you, Mr. Drawer. We appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Beecham, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You know, I hope I get this like this.
All right, Mr. Franklin. You're on mute, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
There you are. Would you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Quentin Franklin, and DOC is 608664.
All right. And Mr. Franklin, do you have any paperwork there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a parole revocation questionnaire with you?
Yes, ma'am.
So I want you to look at that form and tell me if that's your signature on the bottom of that page.
Yes, ma'am.
And so based on the information in that questionnaire, it was determined that you're not eligible for appointed counsel. So are you ready to proceed this morning without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, your case has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton. Well, first, let me acknowledge we have Ms. Markeisha DeLone, who's here on Zoom, and she wants to speak, and we're going to hear from her in just a few minutes. But would you answer Mrs. Stapleton's questions first, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I'm going to read the revocation. Rule number 4 that you violated. You were arrested on 10/29/24 by Baton Rouge City Police Department for the offense of domestic abuse, aggravated assault with child endangerment. On 4/7/2025, you pled guilty to an amended charge of criminal mischief and disturbing the peace. You were given 90 days of credit for time served on each charge. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you plead guilty to the criminal mischief charge?
Yes, ma'am.
Then, rule number 5, I shall not have in my possession or control any firearms or dangerous weapons. It is noted in the police report that the victim's son observed Franklin having a knife during the incident. How do you plead?
Not guilty. I never had a knife.
Okay. And number 10, you are in arrears in the amount of $1,796 towards your supervision fees. How do you plead?
Plead guilty to that because I just got my CDL license, and I was being in contact with my parole officer, letting them know that I just got my CDL license. I started driving 18-wheelers before all this occurred, and me and her was on the same page. Like, I reach out to her without her even much reaching out to me. Every time something go on or I go somewhere to do an application, I was letting her know. We had a good relationship on it. But I had just finished school and got my CDLs.
Okay, well, let me ask you about this charge that you pled guilty to. It was actually a plea. And, well, no, don't we need to hear from the, okay, yes. Okay, before that, let's hear from, Mr. Long, please. Mr. Long?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can go ahead and speak.
Ma'am.
You wanted to make a statement about the charges?
Yes, ma'am. I was on here because I was wanting to let you all know he did not have a knife. I don't know where they say he had a knife at, but from my understanding, he didn't have no knife. He didn't point no knife at me. He didn't have a knife for me at all. So the knife situation, that's not true.
How old was your son, the one that made the statement?
He just made 8 years old on February 9th.
Okay, what about the injuries? Because it said that you had said in your statement that he pushed you and that you fell. And what about that? Because the police.
Okay, with that, we was by my garage and it was dark out there, and my baby basketball goal was right there where our cars was parked at. And when I came around the corner from my back porch, my backyard, and I ended up falling on my baby basketball goal, where it had some bricks right there. That's how I got the injury to my hand, and it wasn't an injury, it was like a little scratch.
Okay, well, how did the police get called if all of that was so innocent?
Because he called the police because he was like, he's already on parole, and it started about my cell phone. Like, I let him use my cell phone, and I told him I wanted my cell phone back. And he called the police because he was like, you know, he don't want to get in trouble because he already on parole. So he ended up calling the police.
Why? Were y'all fighting loud? Was there some reason he thought the police was gonna be called?
No, ma'am. He was just trying to protect himself because he was already on parole. And I would do the same thing too if I was on parole. I want to, you know, make sure that I'm in the clear, that, you know, I don't want to violate myself.
Was he not supposed to be at your house? Was there a protective order? Was there some
Oh,
reason?
No.
I still don't understand why he called the police.
Because I was telling him I wanted my cell phone. He was like, let me go. I'm not about to do all this with you. And he was like, I'm gonna call the police if you don't let me go. I was like, well, if you give me my phone, then you can go. But you know, he was like, to protect himself, he was gonna reach out to the police to let the police know that I wanted my cell phone, and you know, I didn't want him to leave because I wanted my cell phone.
Okay, well, the law enforcement officer sent an affidavit when he writes it. He said that the defendant committed a battery by pushing her to the ground, which caused injuries to her right hand and knee. And during the interview, the law enforcement officer saw the presence of fresh lacerations on both the right hand and the right knee. And then he said, in addition, 7-year-old son witnessed the defendant assaulting the victim, brandishing a knife during the incident.
No, ma'am, no knife was involved. Like, no knife was not involved.
You did have. So why did you tell the police officer that this was done by him?
I'm not sure because the police told me that they want to question my son. I say my son is not, he's young. I said he don't know, you know, he never been around none of this before. So I'm like, well, I need to be with my baby. They was like, no, you can't be around him. We have to question him. I'm like, but he's a baby. Like, how can y'all question him when I'm not around? You know, I don't know what my baby told them because they didn't tell me anything.
What about you? Did you tell them that your injuries were caused when they got there? Did you tell the law enforcement officer that the injuries were caused by Mr. Franklin?
No, I didn't tell the police anything. When the police pulled up, when I was standing to the road, the police pulled up. I told her, I say, I wanted my cell phone. I say, I don't want nobody to go to jail. I just want my cell phone. She say, are you hurt or anything? I'm like, no. I'm like, I fell. And I said, I showed her my, she shined a flashlight at me. And she seen, I showed her my hand and my knee. And she was like, where he at? And he was in the backyard waiting on the police to come. And that's when she told him he was being detained. Excuse me, say he was being detained and she was going to put him in the back of the police car. And I was like, you know, I don't want nobody to go to jail. I just want my phone. That's all I wanted was my phone.
Yeah. I don't have any further questions. Ms. Farrow?
No questions.
Did you want to finish up with his questions for him?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Do you have any other statements that you would like to make?
Me?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin, do you have any further statements?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not an abusive person at all. Her son, I'm a good father to her son and also to my nieces and my kids also. Like, I ain't never had no domestic. I never had nothing aggravated. I'm a hardworking person. I'm a loving person. Like I said, I just got my CDL to start driving my brother 18-wheeler. I don't be in no trouble. Like, I just called the police trying to protect myself. That's all, and I end up coming to jail. And I've been in jail almost 7.5 months. You know, I'm losing out on a lot of stuff. My kids' life. I was starting a youth program for the kids. Like, I'm a role model to the kids in the community. Like, they really look up to me. I'm always spending time with them, stuff like that. It was just basically was a mistake, you know. I thought I was doing the right thing by calling the police, but I ended up coming to jail. Like,
As the argument got real loud, is that what it was? And you were afraid somebody else was going to call?
no, ma'am, I just wanted to call to protect myself because I didn't want to get in no trouble, or she called and say I done her nothing. So I feel it was right for me to go ahead and call the police first.
Okay. All right. I don't have any further questions.
So why wouldn't you give her cell phone back?
Ma'am,
Why didn't you give her cell phone back when she said she wanted it back?
I told her I had to get my stuff out of there, then I was gonna give it to her. And that's when we started arguing about it. Then that's when I just called the police. I was gonna give it to her, but I had to delete all my stuff out the cell phone.
So you were
Because
using her cell phone?
yeah,
Yeah,
she had gave it to me to use. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and she wanted.
can I say something?
But no, we're questioning him, ma'am. So why, I don't understand still. I'm trying to work it out in my head about why you called the police. When you were,
Because because
you
we
were
was
asking for her cell phone back that she paid for, I'm assuming.
right. But I didn't want stuff to, get out of hand. We start fighting or anything like that. That's why I called the police and we can talk to the police together. If
Why
both of
didn't
us
you
didn't,
walk away? Why didn't you just put the phone down and walk out the door?
that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to leave. She can tell you I was trying to get in my car to leave. That's why
Yeah, but
we
you
was
quit giving her
outside.
her phone back is what I'm trying to get at. It seems like you're kind of stubborn, maybe, huh?
No, ma'am, I'm not stubborn at all. No, ma'am.
Yeah, I think so. Mr. Brown?
Why did you plead guilty to a charge if you think you're innocent?
I had a paid lawyer and, that's what he told me to do. And I was telling him the whole time, like she wrote statements, she showed up in court saying nothing this happened. I just going with my lawyer. He told me to just plead out to a misdemeanor. It wouldn't violate me. Like I'm not no bad person. Like I don't get in trouble. Like really a good person.
How long you been in jail for?
7.5 months. I complying with my parole officer. I do everything. Like I said, the only reason why I'm behind, I just got my CDL license. Like I can catch that as soon as I get out. I have a job waiting on me. My brother have his own rig, 18 wheeler.
All right, that's all the questions I have.
Right. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Mr. Franklin, on this day, I'm going to vote to revoke you because you did plead guilty to the criminal mischief and disturbing the peace charge. You did plead guilty to being in arrears of your supervision fees.
I'm going to concur with Ms. Stapleton for the same reason.
My vote also is to revoke for the same reason. So today, Mr. Franklin, your parole's being revoked for violating the conditions of your parole. Good luck to you. That concludes our business, and East Baton Rouge will sign off at 10:48. Committee on Parole is now at Franklin Parish Detention Center. It is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Good morning. With the officer, sir, would you please introduce yourself for the record? You probably can't hear me. Can you ask him just to state his name? I think your microphone's still muted.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can. Can you tell us your name, sir?
Okay, my name is Jaheem Brown.
All right, thanks for accommodating us today, Mr. Brown. We appreciate it.
All
So
right.
we'd like to hear from Mr. Bryan now.
Okay.
Mr. Bryan, would you introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Peter Bryan,
Your DOC number.
627658.
All right, Mr. Bryan, we have joining us today your sister Angela Lashley's on Zoom, and we'll hear from her in a few minutes. And we also have someone from the Rapides District Attorney's Office, the Rapides, Mr. Derek Johnson will also be speaking at the appropriate time. We'll ask for his remarks. First, let me read some identifying information, sir. Mr. Bryan, you're classified as a first felony offender. You're serving currently a 9-year sentence for indecent behavior with a juvenile. You were sentenced in September of 2020. Your parole eligibility date was in July of 2021. You do not earn good time, so your full term date is July 24, 2027. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So before we hear from your sister, we'd like to hear from you to tell us, what you are classified as a first offender. You do have a lengthy arrest record, but tell us, what led you to jail? Why are you in jail? And why do you think we ought to vote to grant you parole today?
I was doing a lot of drugs at one point in my life, and things went to another, and I was at the point to quitting everything, and then next thing I know, I get picked up on the back child support, and then I get booked on a sex offense, and here I am 7 years later.
Tell us about the sex offense.
I was split up with my baby mama for over 8 years, and then I was getting my daughter off and on, and the next thing I know, she's telling me I won't ever see her again, this, that, and other, and if the incident was supposed to have happened with my stepdaughter, her daughter she had with another man. And we'd been
You're
split
saying,
up.
yeah, so you're saying you didn't do anything inappropriate?
No, ma'am, I'm not saying that I didn't. I just,
Okay.
she waited 8 years later, and I've been through the sex offender behavior class. I've graduated all 4 phases, and I was ready to try to go home.
So the victim was 8 years old, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's
Started-
whenever it was supposed to have happened.
It started when she was about 4 years old.
No, ma'am. No.
And you were originally charged with 11 counts of indecent behavior, 6 counts aggravated crime against nature, 2 counts obstruction of justice, and 3 counts of sexual battery, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You go to trial,
No, ma'am.
pled guilty,
Yes, ma'am.
you had a plea agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
What concerns me, Mr. Bryan, as I mentioned, I have a lot of concern about what I see in your record, in your criminal history. I see 4 arrests, 1 domestic abuse battery in 2006, 3 simple battery arrest and conviction. Well, you pled guilty to all of this in 2006. Another domestic abuse battery in 2010, in 2013, another simple battery that you pled guilty to, aggravated battery in 2014, 2016, the drugs, you talked about the drugs earlier. 2017, domestic abuse battery, aggravated assault, although you pled guilty to a lesser charge on that. And then we have this offense for which you're arrested in 2018. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
That you've been in jail 7 years
Yes, ma'am.
and you completed sex offender treatment in 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you learn from that?
I learned a lot, like, to stay away from, certain situations, to observe situations, you know, and to stay out of trouble.
Any other programs you've been able to take advantage of?
I took the risk management substance abuse class in Rapides.
Right, good. Is that the only time you've had a substance abuse education class?
Yes, ma'am.
So all these other arrests that I spoke of, was out there, you were heavily involved in drugs at that time also?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I was.
What's your level of education?
I have a 10th grade.
Have you ever attempted to get your GED?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
I've always had good paying jobs.
So you just didn't think it was important?
At one point in my life, I didn't.
Are you in the STEP program now?
No, ma'am.
What do you do there?
They just had me in a dorm. I got shipped here for the sex offender program, and I graduated at September 20th of 2023.
Yeah, so you took that program there in Franklin?
Yes, ma'am.
Didn't realize they had it there. That's great. You do have opposition to any early release. Your sentencing judge, we'll hear from the DA's office in a moment. The sheriff's office, the attorney general's office they're all opposed to any consideration for early release for you. Is there anything, before we hear from the DA's office, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, ma'am.
And is Mr. Brown still in the room with you?
No, ma'am. He stepped out.
All right. Can we hear from Mr. Johnson with the DA's office, please?
Good morning. Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Good. Thank you.
Yes, Derek Johnson with the Rapides Parish District Attorney's Office. We are still opposed to any early consideration for this inmate due to the heinous nature of the crime. And I know I joined on late. I got kicked off earlier, but being in a household with a juvenile and then having that juvenile trust you and then taking their trust and then taking their innocence from them, that right there can never be restored. And I think he got off fairly easy, and he took his plea deal and he was found guilty, and we are still opposed to any early consideration for him, given his criminal history as well.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Miss Lashley, could we hear from you, please?
Good morning.
Morning. You may have muted your microphone. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Are you there?
Yes. Yes.
I have known Mr. Bryan since he was 17 years old. He has worked with me and my husband. We are self-employed. I have always been considered as his only sister. I'm not really his blood sister, but I have known his whole family. I have 3 girls. I have no concerns at all. He is a very good worker. I have been around his daughter. He has a beautiful grandson now. Yeah, Mr. Bryan, he's had some bad luck. He could have changed some things. I believe that he's done his fair share, his rights, his wrongs, but I also believe that at a 7 years somewhere being where he's at, he should learn something. I also believe that people should have a second chance in life. it wouldn't hurt to do more. But if he does get out, he does have a full-time job working. I mean, I've never had any kind of problems at all. Me and my husband, my 3 kids, we've all prayed for him. His daughters prayed for him. You know, I don't see where he is any kind of harm of society. I can say, do I believe some of it? No, I don't.
All right, thank you. Ms. Lashney. We appreciate your input. All right, let me defer to my colleagues. Any questions?
No question.
All right, Mr. Bryan, I don't see any other questions by my colleagues. I think we're prepared to vote. I'll be voting first. My vote today is going to be to deny your parole based on your criminal history, the age of the victim at the time this occurred, and your age, and the opposition that's been expressed by the DA's office. Mr. Byron?
I concur for the same reason.
Mrs. Saint?
I concur for the same reason, and I think you got off light with your plea bargain.
Yes.
You should serve the whole time.
So, Mr. Bryan, today your parole is being denied, sir. Good luck to you. And that concludes our business there in Franklin. We're signing off at 11 o'clock.
It was over with.
Don't wanna do too much, you know. It's just allow everything gonna be exciting and new, you know.
So I can see the world through y'all. Like a person like you've been there for so long, just to see the world through y'all eyes.
How different it was when you came in, when I got out. Right.
This is all inside. This is real.
Like on the move your life. What? What? You want to go to the birthday? No, taking that guy car and staying there. You had a jukebox stuff. You could have you living like
All right, good morning. The Committee on Parole is reconvening. We're now at Richland Parish Detention Center. It is Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. And good afternoon, sir. We'd like you to introduce yourself for the record.
Major Shaw with the Richland Parish Detention Center.
All right, Major Shaw, thank you so much for accommodating us today. And we're looking for Cody Jones.
Yes, ma'am. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jones. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
I'm Cody Jones, 436-61-9978, I think.
No, let's see. What year were you born?
86.
What are the last four digits of your social?
9978.
Okay, I have your DOC number as 636-186.
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
That sounds familiar?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jones, let me acknowledge that your mother, Ms. Hope Jones, is here, and we're going to call on her for her remarks in just a few minutes.
Okay.
First, let me just read some identifying information into the record. You're classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a 5-year sentence. You were sentenced in Franklin Parish in October of 2023 for negligent homicide. Looks like you were placed on probation, and that was revoked in March 26th of 2024. You do have a parole eligibility date, which has just passed. It was April 10th, 2025, and you have a good time date of October 10th, 2025. Does all that sound right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your case this morning has been assigned to Mr. Barra. Would you answer his questions?
All right, let me first start out by giving just a brief summary that on November 19, 22, you were traveling 66 miles an hour in the inside lane and merged into the outside lane, but did not see the truck in front of you in the outside lane. Slowed to almost a stop to turn into the church parking lot. That you had meth and clonazepam and THC in your blood at the time of the crash. Mr. Jones stated that he smoked marijuana, took clonazepam 24 hours before the crash, smoked a small amount of meth 48 hours before the crash, and does not remember if he was high or not at the time of the crash. Subsequently, on October 31st, 23, you were sentenced to 5 years hard labor, 5 years probation in drug court. You got revoked out of drug court less than a year, it looks like, for testing positive for meth and marijuana and failed to complete the drug court or pay your fine and costs. And that's what you're serving your time for now, and you're here with us for consider your release on. So looking at that and listening to that, you know, you had the biggest break I've ever seen for a homicide charge with 5 years probation. And you wasn't successfully able to successfully complete that. What's different now than then that we would be able to believe that if we let you release, you would complete the program?
Sir? Say that again. I'm sorry.
What's different now than when you was referred to drug court? If we would have let you out, certainly we put you in all kinds of different treatment programs. Why should we believe that you would do them? You didn't do them then.
Well,
oh, no.
Yes, I understand. Well, I don't know. That's kind of, I don't know. Doing this has been very hard on me, and I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean,
did you pay anything on your fine and court costs back then?
no, sir. No, sir.
But have you completed any programs while you're in jail right now?
No, sir. They have a step at this facility. I'm a second-time offender, and they only admit third-time offenders in this facility and in Franklin Parish where I was housed.
Okay, kind of back to that same first question. You continued to use drugs and failed drug tests during your drug court probation. Are you willing to stop and ready to stop using those drugs now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just for the record, you have very strong opposition from law enforcement. The judge is opposed, the sheriff's opposed, the district attorney is opposed, and the attorney general is opposed. You also have very strong opposition from the victim's family. Both the victim's wife and the victim's son are strongly opposed. This is that's one question I have.
You want me to get a question? I do have a question.
So, Ms. Hope Jones, what would you like us to know? Ms. Jones? I think, there you are. There you are. Can you unmute and tell us what you'd like us to know? Can you hear us, Ms. Jones? Can you send her the message to unmute? You're still muted. We still can't hear you. No, we can't hear you. No, ma'am. All right, well, there she is. Let's see. No, we still can't hear you. No, ma'am. No. Is she unmuted?
She unmuted and muted it, but it's
And it's
audio, I
flipping
think
back.
it's an issue.
No.
Answer your phone.
Can you answer your phone? That's us.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, it's this phone. All I know is the person. You had a call coming in? No.
Hear you.
That's okay. We can hear you.
Okay.
We hear you.
ma'am. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Allow live. You're gonna.
We hear you.
Ms. Jones, we can hear you.
Okay. All I know is he is not the same person he was when he was incarcerated a year and a half ago. He is a stronger person. He has been clean since he's been in there. He is just a totally changed man from when he went to prison a year and a half ago. After many meetings, talking to him, he is just a different person. And I know if he got out into society, he would live a productive and happy life. Me and my family, we will support him in any way to help him live that happy life. And we will support him in all aspects of his sobriety. I know he's very sorry for what happened, remorseful. We are too. But he is the man that he should be right now to live a happy, productive life.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We appreciate your persistence in trying to speak with us this morning. Thank you for
I'm
doing.
sorry. And I did send a letter in to the board for review too. So
Yes, you have it. Thank you very much.
thank you.
All right, Mr. Jones, Ms. Stapleton has some questions.
Mr. Jones, I had a question. Were you ordered to pay restitution for the funeral of the victim?
No, ma'am. Not
No.
that.
So no consequences there. Wondered about that. And then, as it was brought out, the fact that you failed drug court and was given, you were given basically a very light sentence for the death of a human being.
Yes, ma'am.
5 years, and you still didn't take it serious enough that, you stayed off of drugs. So in my opinion, you're a safety risk to society if you were to get back on the road right now. That's my opinion. That's all I had to say.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Jones, I don't see any other questions. So, Mr. Bauer, are you ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Jones, today I have to vote to deny your parole request based on the strong law enforcement opposition, the strong victim opposition, the failure to comply with drug court in the beginning, and that's.
Thank you, sir.
And I concur with Mr. Barra, and I would like to add that my feeling is that he's a safety risk to society at this point.
All right, Mr. Jones, based on the opposition that you've heard about today, my vote today is to deny. You do have a release date in just a few months. So I hope that you do follow through and maintain your sobriety once you get out. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Y'all have a good day.
Went back. I just saw the story. She had it on green jeans, and I put it pneumonia, yeah. I told him to be prepared for that, Yeah. Yeah, I just coming up to it, I don't get worried about having it all that stuff. All the things worrying, bothering me. I kind of had it on my heart. But she doesn't. That's right. You just focus on October, man. Appreciate it. He'll be here for you, though. That's both things. Well, it didn't even get to the point of talking to me, did it? I'm kind of, if they was willing to want to know how he's doing here, going to explain to him his job and all of that kind of stuff, Do what now? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Are you ready, boy? Let's get back out there to our track, even. Hey, Sean, Sean, and looked at the clock.
Yes.
You said it wouldn't work.
It went to working, but they still come over and
When you sent me the text, they was already headed over there.
it was still something wrong with it. They needed to be looked at.
Yeah. All right.
All right, we are ready for Mr. Watson.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Watson.
How are you? I'm good.
Good, well, I'm glad to hear it. Would you tell us your name and DOC number for the record, sir?
Chadwick B. Watson, 508530.
Yes, sir, that's what I have. And let me acknowledge your niece, Daria.
Daria.
She's
Yes,
with
ma'am.
us today,
That's
and
good.
she wants to speak, and we're gonna call on her in just a few minutes.
Okay.
So first, let me just read some identifying information. You are, Mr. Watson, classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a 20-year sentence. You were sentenced in DeSoto Parish in September 2011 for forcible rape. You do have a parole eligibility date, which was March 15, 2021. You do not earn good time, so your full-term date is March 16, 2031. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so before we get started, we'd like to hear you tell us why are you here? Why are you in jail? And why do you think we ought to grant you parole today?
And I think sometimes people get with the wrong crowd, the wrong environment, and things happen. But I can say after doing these 15 years, ma'am, it open your eyes and it make you think different about everything. And I can tell you, if you grant me for parole today, I would appreciate it, and I would not let myself down. And second of all, I would not let you down.
Well, we'll probably dig a little deeper into that in a minute, but first we'll hear from your niece, Daria. What would you like us to know about your uncle?
I understand that. Well, good morning. How are y'all doing?
Thank you.
I understand that he has made some serious mistakes in the past, and he has accepted all responsibility and full responsibility for them. But I've also seen how much he's grown. He's changed since being incarcerated. My uncle has my uncle has used his time to reflect and learn and take steps on becoming a better person and a better man, and also a better father for his kids. And as a family, we're ready to support him when he's released, and we will have a stable home, emotional support, and also helping him find work and have people who care about him around him.
Good. Well, he's like to have the family support. Thank you for speaking with us this morning.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Watson, your case has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton. Would you answer her question?
Good morning, sir. Let me ask you about classes. Have you taken any sex offender treatment classes?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I didn't see where you had. What classes have you taken?
Oh, I haven't took any, ma'am.
Been in there long enough, like you said. What did you say, 14 years?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't taken any classes?
I've applied for classes, but I get the same excuse every time. I have too much time.
Okay, so not your fault then. I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's a shame. Okay, so, when asked about this, you said that, you hang around the wrong group and you do different things like this. What made you say that about this crime group? Who was your company?
It's the wrong people, man.
Well, you were in a house full of children. And out of that, you picked one to rape. You didn't have no help doing that. Wasn't a group activity. So it was just you.
Yes, ma'am.
Get that? It was just you. So they talk about you getting out and leading a happy, fulfilled life. What kind of life do you think that little 11-year-old has gone through? You were 28 years old when you did that to her. So you can't say I was a young kid. I hear that all the time. I was young and foolish. You were 28. She was 11. You knew what you were doing. Am I correct when I say that?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you think that child went through?
I have no idea, ma'am.
Give it any thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, child had to recount what happened. People hear about it. That kind of thing bothers a child. And sometimes, they go to counseling the rest of their life if they're lucky to get counseling. So sometimes they don't they don't go forward with a happy, fulfilled life because this haunts them forever. So I would like for you to think about that. Now you have opposition from the district attorney's office and the attorney general's office. So you've served 14 of your 20 years. You haven't taken any classes, but as you say, they don't let you take any classes. So that's something you would need to do. Other than that, I don't have any questions because clearly you do admit to the rape, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so there's no doubts about that. All right, anything anybody else wants to say? No questions.
So, Mr. Watson, I don't see any other questions. We're going to be voting. Mrs. Stapleton will be voting first.
Mr. Watson, because of the heinous nature of the crime to a young child and law enforcement opposition, your lack of classes, and I hope there's something we can do to help you get the classes that you need. I'm going to deny your parole today.
Mr. Byron?
I concur with Ms. Stapleton for the same reasons, the law enforcement opposition and the age of the victim at the time of the crime.
And Mr. Watson, I also am voting to deny your parole today. It doesn't seem to me, though, that you have a clear understanding of the impact you had on the victim. And I agree with Mrs. Stapleton. Please give that some thought because you got to come to terms with that. So, but today, sir, you've received a unanimous vote to deny your parole. Good luck to you, Mr. Watson.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to sign off from Richland Parish Detention Center. It's 11:31. All right, good morning. We are now reconvening at Riverbend Correctional Center. It's June 11th, 2025. And with the staff there in the room, please introduce yourself for the record, sir.
My name is Lieutenant Johnnick.
All right, Lieutenant Johnson, thank you for helping us out today.
No problem, ma'am.
And this is Mr. Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davis, tell us your name and DOC number, sir.
ADRIAN DAVIS, 580966.
Sir, Mr. Davis, and do you have any paperwork with you?
No, ma'am.
All right, we have a form that you filled out earlier. We want to put it up. You see that on the screen? Is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Based on the information contained in that questionnaire, Mr. Davis, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer today. Are you ready to proceed without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let me read the allegations against you and you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. So you're accused of violating condition number 3. You absconded supervision. The parole office attempted to make personal contact visits on several occasions at the address you provided, which was 16651 South Amite Drive. All attempts were unsuccessful, so a parole warrant was issued. And on March 3rd, 2025, you were arrested in Texas for a DWI as well as the parole warrant. You had no permission to leave the state of Louisiana. How do you plead to absconding supervision?
Guilty.
Then we have condition number 4. Oh, I'm sorry, condition number 10. You're in arrears of your supervision fees in the amount of $189. How do you plead to violating number 10?
I actually can catch those fees up, so do I have to plead guilty to that?
You can plead guilty or not guilty.
Not guilty to that one, I can pay that.
And then we do have a condition number 4. You failed to refrain from criminal conduct because of your arrest in the state of Texas, March 3rd this year for the DWI. You were convicted and received a 30-day jail sentence. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Guilty.
All right, so tell us why you left the state without permission.
I actually ended up having to leave when I get out of jail. My living conditions weren't stable over there, so I actually had to leave right after that. I really didn't even never stay there. So I was trying to get myself together to take care of my business so I could get my paperwork moved to Texas, but everything didn't work out like it was supposed to work out.
Right, but you did tell your officer, you lied to your officer telling you lived on South Amite with your grandmother.
No, my auntie. I was over there, but the living conditions weren't right, so I got away from over there. I wasn't trying to go back to jail, you know.
Well, what was the living conditions? What was wrong with them?
They just had stuff that was going on over there. I'm just gonna say that wasn't parole.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been around it. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
tell us about the DWI.
You know, I was stressed out from I'm knowing I'm not supposed to be down there, and I couldn't. I really didn't even know that you can get a pass to go out of town. I'd been on probation before, but my last parole, I didn't have them type of issues. I had a good address in the state and everything where I was supposed to be. I never had no trouble or anything like that. So it was just a real misunderstanding.
What happened to that other address that was a good address?
Which one?
When you said
That's the same.
on probation.
Oh, me and my girl was together and I was living in Louisiana then. All my people moved to Texas.
Okay, I see. All right, and you've been in jail since March?
Yes, ma'am. Since March the 3rd.
Were you working in Texas?
I had a job lined up out there.
So you said you could pay your fees. How come you're behind on your fees?
Because I've been in jail for like 3 months.
All right.
I just got out of jail on
December?
yes,
You got out of jail
December.
in December? So have you made any
Yes, ma'am.
payments?
No, ma'am. I can get my supervision fees caught up because my mother take care of that right now until I get out and get on my feet.
Did you know you were coming to this hearing today?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell your mother?
No, ma'am, I haven't been able to get in touch with any of them. My PIN number, and it's a couple of issues, but she most definitely will pay my fees. I know that for sure.
So you
It's
haven't
only
been
like
able to touch with anybody because your PIN number's wrong?
yeah, my PIN number got to be taken care of. I really just got to River Bend not too long ago, probably like a week or so ago.
I'm gonna defer to my colleague for more questions. I have, all right. I got some issues, Mr. Davis, with, I understand you're saying that you couldn't live in whatever conditions was going on South AV. I am concerned about DWI arrest. That is criminal activity.
Uh-huh.
Is it your plan to go back to Texas?
Yes, ma'am. I have to go to Texas. I don't have nobody down here.
Okay. Well, this is what I want to do. If it works, I don't know if it'll work. In lieu of revocation, I want to send you to a work release program that will give you time to work on an interstate compact, which is something you got to do to get permission and do it the right way to go to Texas. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, ma'am, most definitely.
An interstate compact, and then catch your fees up.
Okay.
That's my vote. We'll see what everybody else feels like. Mr. Byron?
I'll concur with Mr. Nasa.
Miss Saban, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay. I'm going to concur with Ms. Renata, and also, like she said, she was very concerned about the DWI. Don't get in no trouble.
No, ma'am. Most definitely stay out of trouble. I really wouldn't have been in that trouble, but I was dealing with a lot. It's okay. It'll work out. I'll make sure I stay out of refrain from any kind of criminal conduct.
Yes. All right. Well, we're giving you a shot. We're going to send you to work release. That's going to give you some time to work on your interstate compact
Okay.
and get in touch with you. Get your PIN number straight so you can communicate with your family.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good luck. That concludes our business in Richland. River Bend. We're going to sign off. It's 11:41.
All right, y'all have a good one. Better than jail.
So we now. Okay. What's with that channel, huh?
Turn your camera on.
Oh.
She can fix.
No. Well, she got the album quite new. She haven't had it. I don't know. But then song said that. Mm-hmm. Well, that's all. We can calm down and take it easy. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. You too. Okay. So. All right, Committee on Parole is now reconvening in Madison Parish. It is 11:47 a.m. on June 11th, 2025. And with the officer there in Madison, please introduce yourself for the record. Camac Video Conference Office.
All right, thank you, sir, for accommodating us today. And you are Mr. Sylvester?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sylvester, introduce us, give us your full name and your DOC number, please.
Sylvester, Carl Anthony Sylvester, 711 892.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I got. 711-892. Thank you. All right, Mr. Sylvester, let me just read some identifying information into the record and we'll get started with our interview. You're classified as a first offender, currently serving a 15-year sentence for 2 counts of second degree rape. You have a parole eligibility date, which was August 18, 2020, and you don't earn good time, so your full term date is August 20th of 2030. Does all that sound correct to you, sir?
Yeah.
All right. Your case today has been assigned to Mr. Byra. Would you answer his questions, please?
All right, I'm going to start off with just a brief summary of the case. If you pled guilty to second degree rape, 2 counts, and received 15 years concurrent on May 3rd, 2016. Over on December 6th, 2014, Sylvester 17 had penile and vaginal sex with an 11-year-old victim. During the investigation, that victim's sister also reported more than a year ago at the Sylvester that you entered the bedroom where she was sleeping and had penile and vaginal sex with her too. A warrant was issued for Sylvester and he was arrested on 5/14/15. That's the details of those that case there. Also, while you were in jail, of Balls Parish, looks like you got a charge that's still pending, a possession with intent to distribute Schedule II drugs, and that warrant is still active. My first question is about those charge over there at Balls Parish that's still pending. What is it still pending? Number one, and what happened there at Balls Parish to get a distribution charge in jail?
I can't hear. It sounds like they're talking. I can't hear.
They probably got you on mute.
You can't hear us? They can't hear us. Y'all should be able to hear us. Mr. Sylvester, can you hear us? Is he frozen? No, that's not blank.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Mr. Sylvester? Now I can't hear you. Looks like you're on mute, maybe? Oh, can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
Oh, I think you can. Yeah, there we go. Now can you hear us, Mr. Sylvester? Now I can't see you. Something's in front of the camera. I don't know what's in front of it, but something, there we go. You got it. Mr. Sylvester, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. So I'll start over again and rehash what happened. You pled guilty to charges on 5-3-16 of second-degree rape, 2 counts, and got 15 years hard labor concurrent for each count. This is because at a sleepover on December 6, 2014, Sylvester had penile and vaginal sex with an 11-year-old victim. During the course of the investigation, the victim's sister reported more than a year ago at a sleepover at the Sylvester's aunt's house. Sylvester entered the bedroom where she was sleeping and had penile and vaginal sex with her also. A warrant was issued and Sylvester was arrested on 5/14/15. We also have a charge from 126/21 that's still pending from Avals Parish, where it looks like you were in jail when you got a charge of possession with intent to distribute Schedule II drugs. And my first question was about that drug charge in jail. How did you get a possession with intent to distribute drug while in jail?
Found, well, I'm gonna see. They had a shakedown and they found something by my rack, by my bed.
So they didn't catch you distributing any drugs, they just found it in a shakedown?
They found it in my area, the perimeter where I was living at.
And what amount was it?
I can't really tell you I don't know what they found. They ain't show me.
My next question deals with the 2 young girls, underage girls. Did you think it was okay to have sex with those girls?
I was young at the age, I must say I was young at the age, and they was young too. But I'm older now. I'm gonna say it wasn't the right thing to do.
Well, you were 17, you could tell that it was an 11-year-old and 13-year-old, right? Especially the 11-year-old.
I ain't know how old it was.
You knew how old they looked. All right, that ends that. That's all I wanted to know. You know how old they looked.
Mr. Sylvester, is the charges in Avals Parish still pending? Did you go to court on that yet?
Never go to court since I've been at that jail.
Okay. All right. When's the last time you had a drug test? You hadn't had one?
In a little minute.
Yeah.
Probably
Maybe
since I
we need
came.
to do one today.
I think so.
All right, I think we're ready to vote, Mr. Byron.
I agree.
Well, today I vote to deny your parole request due to the serious nature of the crimes you committed against 2 juvenile victims.
Mrs. Stapleton.
I concur, Mr. Barra.
My vote today also is to deny because of the age of the victims at the time. So today, Mr. Sylvester, your parole is being denied, sir. Good luck to you. And that concludes our business. We're going to adjourn at 11:57.